Hey folks, this is Pat Nam for T91. You know, I'm just been doing a lot of thinking. It's real sad in this country that our own leaders came and agreed to keep the government going for at least 6 months. That way they could at least try to get our debt under control. But hey, you know, no. They'd rather screw everybody else out of what's rightfully theirs. Not just that. I mean, you've got folks that are dependent on, you know, Social Security and those other programs. I'm not. It may not right or wrong. I'm just saying. Why is it so many people have to be screwed by these assholes? I mean, not just them. It's also the rich folk that help them get elected, that pay for their campaigns. It's ridiculous. Normally I'd be shouting, but I don't want to lose my voice, so I'm just trying to be as calm as I possibly can while I'm saying this. Just to keep it short, I've had it. I've outright had it. I think the U.S. military needs to step in, or the police or the militia, somebody, and needs to arrest every single one of those monkeys in Washington. Just do a complete system purge, start over again. Hold new elections. Because the time has long since passed for voting. To get them out. Because it's never going to work that way. It just won't. I'm telling you, regime change. That's the only way it's going to stop them. So, what else is there left? Till, you know, we have nothing. Because they've taken it. I mean, you've got folks in this country now that are telling that they're going to have a big chunk of their pensions taken in order to cover all the expenses, which, you know, they don't have to do that. They could easily fix this problem. The problem is they don't want to, because either they're too petty, or, you know, they're too corrupt. So, you know what? We need just to deliver the ultimatum. You know? They need to be told that this is our country, you work for us. And if you don't do your job, that's it, you're fired. And if you won't vacate your office, well then, you know what? You'll be dragged out of there, in handcuffs, and thrown to the local brig. You know, maybe that's the way to go. It may sound extreme, but you know what? These politicians have been anything but civil. Giving money to a whole bunch of corporations that don't need it, and then lie about it. Starting illegal wars and half-assed wars. And, you know, I don't even care if you're for the wars or against them. The fact remains, you cannot play around with the war. You gotta be able to pay for it. You gotta be able to keep your troops supplied. And it's been quite clearly that haven't been able to do either very well. I mean, there are rumors that the U.S. military didn't have enough sniper rifles, and they actually had to contact a civilian gun company and have them start making a certain variation of a certain rifle called the M1A, because they didn't have enough M14s. You know, there weren't enough desert uniforms, so as a result, troops ended up with a hodgepodge. We had to get all of our ammunition from Britain and Israel because they were closest by, and we only had so much available here in the U.S. That created an ammunition shortage for both civilians and police departments. So I really don't understand what it takes people to see. I mean, you also have the same government that tries to tell you, oh, we're defending freedom by going into all these countries, yet we're losing more and more of it at home. I mean, they tried to pass an even more ridiculously strict copyright bill that would fine you if you just even use the tiniest amount of footage or audio in one of your videos. I mean, that isn't even about, you know, controlling internet piracy or copyright violations. It's strictly about censorship. I mean, these are the same corporate entities that not only got the politicians elected, but also tell them what to say and what to do. I mean, they even said our government even passed that little thing that says that corporations are people and therefore have free speech. They are not people. They are corporations. The people that run them have free speech, but them as a single entity are not people. And, you know, then they lie about the constant barrage of disasters. I mean, they try to tell us that, oh, all was well with Japan, that the radiation was harmless. Have they learned nothing from history? I mean, I remember in science and history class that a whole bunch of people died from radiation exposure after they dropped A-bombs. And, you know, whenever the power plants leaked, they try to tell us, oh, it's fine. Bullshit. You had what? You saw the footage. You can see it on the internet. 3 stinking nuclear reactors went up and spread their toxic crap all into the atmosphere, onto the ground, into the ocean. Got into the food supply. They pulled the same crap a few years before with the Gulf of Mexico oil spill. I'll try to tell you, oh, the oil's gone. You could eat it, even though it's been doused with a whole bunch of chemicals and oil. Bullshit. I mean, if I were to pour a chemical on your food, would you want to eat it? No, you wouldn't. But then, what the government goes and does is say, oh yeah, the food's alright. It's alright. It's safe to eat it. But then, you know, when you Google this shit, you find out that the shit that they're spraying is incredibly toxic. Go figure. So, you know what? The lying's gotta stop. The deception has to stop. The stranglehold over our free speech has to stop. These Illegal and half-assed wars have to stop. These unnecessary bailouts of big companies that do not need money has to stop. This corporate stranglehold over our freedom and over our very way of life has to stop. This cabal between government and corporations has to be stopped. And we have to do what is necessary in order to end it. That's all there is to it.